Under the spotlight, all that glitters isn't gold. Sometimes, it's the armor of a woman who's endured more than the world will ever know. Fame has a way of masking pain, dressing up heartbreak in silk and sequins until the world forgets there's a real person underneath. But behind the calm smile of Jaclyn Smith, immortalized by millions as the elegant Kelly Garrett in Charlie's Angels, was a woman quietly carrying the weight of her past, her disappointments, and her deepest wounds. The public saw a flawless beauty, a timeless fashion icon, and a television legend. But they didn't see the lonely girl in a silent Texas home, spinning in her ballet shoes just to feel like her voice mattered. They didn't hear the echoes of her unspoken grief or witness the relentless grace it took to keep moving forward. No matter how much the world demanded she stand still and smile. Jaclyn Smith's life wasn't just a series of Hollywood highlights. It was a tapestry of resilience, stitched together with pain, hope, and an unyielding belief that she could be more than what the world expected of her. Born in 1945 in Houston, Texas, Jaclyn's earliest memories weren't filled with warmth or emotional ease. Her father, a strict Russian Jewish dentist, ruled the household with quiet authority, while her mother maintained a distant, no-nonsense demeanor that left little room for tenderness or artistic dreams. Emotion was not encouraged, it was endured. This world of structure and silence shaped a young girl who longed for color, expression, and softness. With no space to speak her truth, she danced instead. Ballet became her language, her rebellion, her refuge. In every controlled movement and delicate pose, she found a fleeting sense of power in a home where she otherwise felt invisible. But even her love for dance was met with skepticism. The arts were not seen as a real future, and Jaclyn's passion was quietly dismissed by those closest to her. That quiet dismissal cut deep, planting early seeds of loneliness that would follow her for years. Still, she clung to ballet for as long as she could. It wasn't just a dream, it was her only escape. When she finally moved to New York City to pursue it professionally, she was chasing more than a career. She was chasing freedom. But New York didn't offer comfort. It was cold, competitive, and unforgiving. Slowly, the dream that had once lit her soul began to dim. When she finally let go of ballet, it felt like a silent funeral for a piece of herself she could never get back. And yet, she carried the discipline, the poise, and the strength of those dance years into the next chapter of her life, never allowing herself to completely fall apart. Her next steps weren't glamorous. She turned to modeling and commercials, taking small roles that felt more objectifying than empowering. Still, they were steps, quiet but deliberate. Each rejection, each uncomfortable photo shoot, each moment of doubt laid another brick in the foundation of her future. Even when she lost a coveted role in Dark Shadows to Kate Jackson, she didn't give up. Instead, she kept going, even when it hurt. That quiet persistence paid off. By 1970, she had landed her first small film role. But more importantly, she had forged a friendship with Farrah Fawcett, a connection that would later help her navigate the treacherous waters of Hollywood with a little less fear. Then came the turning point, the one that changed everything. In 1976, Kate Jackson, already cast in Charlie's Angels, recommended Jaclyn to the producers. She wasn't their first choice, and her name didn't ring with star power. But the moment she stepped into the role of Kelly Garrett, something just clicked. Her understated charisma, her quiet strength, and her natural elegance brought a depth to the character that went beyond the glamorous surface. She wasn't trying to steal the spotlight. She just held it with quiet confidence. And the audience fell in love. Almost overnight, she became a household name. Her calm presence on screen made her the heart of the show, earning her not just fame but also financial success. In 1978, she was making $40,000 per episode, an unheard of amount for a woman in a male-dominated industry. Still, despite the accolades, she often described feeling like a paper doll, praised for her appearance while her inner world remained unseen. But Jaclyn was never content to just be a pretty face. While others faded into the background after their TV roles ended, she was already thinking ahead. In the 1980s, she partnered with Kmart to launch the Jaclyn Smith collection, one of the first and most successful celebrity fashion lines in retail history. It wasn't about ego, it was about creating something real for real women. She wasn't selling a fantasy. She was offering style and strength at an accessible price. Her fashion empire grew into home goods, skincare, and even wigs, allowing her to shape a legacy beyond Hollywood. But her success in business wasn't just savvy. It was survival. It was her way of saying, I will not be defined by the camera. Behind the scenes, however, Her personal life was crumbling in painful, invisible ways. Her first marriage to actor Roger Davis in 1968 was built on hope and youth. She gave herself to it fully, sacrificing her voice to keep the peace. But it soon became clear that Roger was in love with the image of her, not the real woman she was becoming. That realization broke her heart. Their divorce left her emotionally depleted, but it also sparked a quiet revolution within her. She began reclaiming her identity, learning to honor her own needs instead of constantly compromising for others. Her second marriage in 1978 to actor Dennis Cole felt different at first, romantic, intense, and full of potential. She loved not only Dennis but also his son, Joe, whom she embraced as her own. But fame has a way of exposing every crack in a relationship. Jealousy, public pressure, and personal demons tore them apart. After their divorce, tragedy struck in the most devastating way. Joe was killed during a robbery in 1991. The grief was unimaginable. Jaclyn mourned privately, never turning her sorrow into spectacle. She carried the loss with grace, determined to keep Joe's memory alive through love rather than pain. In 1980, she tried again, marrying British cinematographer Tony Richmond. This chapter brought her two sons, Gaston and Spencer, her greatest joys. Yet even in this seemingly stable union, pain lingered beneath the surface. Tony's slow descent into addiction turned their once loving home into a fragile space. Jaclyn became both mother and protector, shielding her boys from the chaos. When the marriage finally ended in 1989, it wasn't bitter. She chose to pay millions to secure custody and protect her son's peace, never speaking ill of their father. That choice said everything about her character. She refused to let pain harden her. She chose love again and again, even when it hurt. Her sons became her anchor. Gaston would go on to follow his father's path in cinematography, while Spencer became a business partner in her fashion ventures. They were living proof that something beautiful could grow from broken ground. With them by her side, Jaclyn found new purpose, not just as a mother, but as a woman finally in charge of her own narrative. In 1989, during her father's surgery, fate brought someone new into her life. Brad Allen, a heart surgeon. Their connection was quiet and steady, built not on grand gestures but mutual care and deep understanding. They married in 1997 in a simple ceremony that reflected the calm love she had long hoped for. Brad was not only her partner but her peace. Together, they built a life rooted in kindness and healing. But just as calm settled over her life, another challenge arrived: breast cancer. Diagnosed in the early 2000s during a routine checkup, the news shook her, but she did not let it define her. She underwent surgery and radiation while still working, leaning on Brad and her family for strength. Her response to cancer wasn't just about survival. It was about courage. She became a vocal advocate for early detection and breast health, partnering with foundations like Susan G. Komen to help others face their battles with dignity and hope. Through it all, Jaclyn maintained a lifestyle grounded in mindfulness, yoga, a clean diet, and embracing natural aging. She never tried to be someone else. She simply chose to become more of herself. In her late 70s now, she spends her days in California, surrounded by family, creativity, and the serenity she once only dreamed of. She continues to work on her fashion and beauty lines, collaborating with her daughter and mentoring younger women who look up to her not just for her style, but for her spirit. Jaclyn Smith's life isn't just a Hollywood story. It's a human story. It's about finding strength in silence, grace in heartbreak, and purpose in the places where dreams once fell apart. Her journey from a silenced child in a strict home to a cultural icon and resilient matriarch proves that real beauty doesn't come from the spotlight. It comes from how we carry ourselves when no one's watching. It comes from choosing love after loss, calm after chaos, and truth over illusion. Her story reminds us that being an angel on screen is one thing, but becoming one in real life requires something far greater. If you felt touched by Jaclyn Smith's powerful story of strength, love, and perseverance, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more real stories behind the fame. We appreciate you being here.